In this tutorial, we're going to be covering the Layers palette, and it's part of our Photoshop for Beginners series. So I've got a file opened up here, and I've got a variety of layers opened up here. And if you don't see your Layers palette, I've kind of closed off a lot of windows here. Go to Windows and then scroll down to Layers. F7 is your keyboard shortcut. That gives you this palette here. Now, when you open a file, it's like taking out a sheet of paper. And that sheet of paper is going to be the background layer in Photoshop. If you want to stack things on top of each other, what you need to do is create new layers. So let's start with that. To create new layers, every palette, I should say, has this little options button at the top right. It's a couple of lines with a triangle, and you click there. That gives you a variety of options available to you. In this case, we can use the new layer option there, but you see you have quite a few choices there. That brings up a pop-up which allows you to name the layer and then choose some more advanced settings. We're just going to click OK for right now, and we've got a brand new layer. So on this brand new layer, what we could do is create and add new things on it. Let's look at it a little bit closer. There's an eyeball next to it. If you click the eyeball, it basically looks like nothing changed here, and that is in fact correct because it's a blank layer. But let's go through and click the eyeballs of each of these other layers, and you'll notice things are disappearing now. So a layer is like a new sheet of paper that is completely transparent when you create it, if it's a blank layer, that stacks on top of it. So this is the background or the bottom. And it's like if this was a table, for example, and you dropped a photo on top of it. Here we've got a nice photo of an ostrich. That photo is on top of the table. And then here's another photo on top of that one, and another one on top of that one. And now we've got some text here that we're dropping in there, some of our logo and branding. And inside of this one looks a little bit different. It looks like a manila folder, and that's because that is a folder. And we've got the brand new layer. So you notice that whatever's on the bottom is on the bottom, like on the table, and everything else stacks in front of it. Okay, so that's basically the stacking order there and what the eyeball does inside of it. Now what we want to do with this layer is I'm going to throw this empty one away because we don't need it. You see, here's the trash can here. You can just take the layer, have it selected. If it's not selected, it looks like this. Okay, so and then click the trash can. That'll throw it away. You can also drag it down into the trash can if you prefer. So what do we do with this layers palette now? We can stack things around. So here I've got some photos here, but let's say I want to put a different photo in front. Well, I know I've got other photos here, so I've got this layer 5. I'm going to double click on the actual name and call this one boat, and now that makes a little bit more sense. This one here is going to be called dolphin, and we've got the ostrich down at the bottom. So if I click on dolphin and click and drag it up above, now you notice that because the dolphin layer is in front of the boat layer, I can see the dolphin now. What I'm going to do now is do a transform and zoom out a little bit under view and zoom out, and then I'm going to shrink this one down, and now you can see here, well, it makes a little bit more sense. I've got my dolphin in one layer here. I've reduced it down, and it's in front of the boat. You see, once again, if I click and drag this down, now the boat is in front of the dolphin. So that gives us the layers palette, gives us our stacking order of how we organize everything. So I've got my dolphin here. I'm going to take this ostrich here. I'm going to bring that in front of the boat also and do a transform, Control T, to reduce the size of this ostrich, which in our boating scenario here doesn't make a lot of sense, but we're going to leave it anyways. We'll just drop that right there. And now we have the ability now to stack. Notice that if I bring the ostrich over, it is behind the dolphin because the dolphin is higher above. So that's how you actually organize and stack your layers there. To delete a layer, once again, throw it away. You can just click and drag them up and down to reorganize them. And that is how you organize your layers palette. There's a lot more options like opacity, where we can make them transparent, layer blend modes, which we'll cover all of this in future tutorials and more advanced tutorials with the layers palette. And always remember that you do have the options button here that gives you a lot of options like merge down that allows you to collapse all of your layers down into a single sheet again. Well, hopefully this gives you a quick overview. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of our tutorials at 5minutetutorials.com or subscribe to our channel below. Thanks again.